I was deep in the womb of the countryside in northern Uganda. Why? Because as you may remember, very few places suffered as northern Uganda as a result of 20 years of war and encampment. This is the place that you remember the Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs once called the worst forgotten crisis in the world. So for the last 5 years or so, I've been working together with others, with the community, building a non-partisan, across-the-board movement to restore, to rebuild, to resuscitate this once progressive, dynamic society, which is now a shadow of its former self.
The press, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. It's my honor to present to you Ambassador Olara Otunu, candidate for Secretary General of the United Nations. He has just set out his vision to the General Assembly, and now he's here to take your questions. Ambassador Otunu.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, before I say anything, may I please introduce you to our Prime Minister Emeritus, Dr. Ruakana Rugonda. He's one of the most eminent leaders in our country at the international level as well. He served as ambassador here, Prime Minister many years, and is now senior presidential envoy and the one who is leading our lobbying effort. We are also very honored to have here Ambassador Kakonge, who is the Ugandan ambassador to the United States, based in Washington, D.C. And earlier I told you how touched we are that Mr. Salim Lone, who is one of the survivors of that horrific attack in Baghdad in 2003, is today here with us on this very poignant occasion. So thank you. I'm happy to be with you, and I'll take your questions.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Damilola. I write for PASBU. My first question, there's been a lot of speculations around why you're just coming out now. Not only have you been an institution within the UN for a long time ago, the last time you had any position at the UN was 2005. Not only are you 2 decades late, so to say, for this race, but also you joined the race itself when the process had progressed substantially. If you could talk about that, would be great. Thank you.
Well, just 2 things. I hope that my breadth and depth of experience, covering some 4 decades, covering all 3 pillars of the United Nations, meaning peace and security, on which I've worked in the Security Council as Under-Secretary General, but also when I was president of International Peace Academy, now IPI, my work on development and my work on human rights. Human rights, together with Prime Minister Dr. Ruakana Rugunda, we cut our teeth in the struggle against the rule of Idi Amin in Uganda. So all my adult life, I have been engaged in the promotion of human rights. So I hope that that breadth and depth of experience is what the UN needs today. More than that, some of you may know that in the leadership positions I've occupied here at the UN and elsewhere, my trademark has been 2 things: building consensus, even when things are very contentious. 2 examples you may recall. One, the Otunu formula, which is now being used since 1981 to elect the Secretary General. I was able to put that together in 1981. Two, in this very hall, in this very hall, the General Assembly, 1983. You may recall in October, in the middle of the General Assembly, we had the Grenada crisis. The government was overthrown, new forces took over, the president was killed, and we had two delegations turn up here to represent Grenada. At that time, I was the chair of the Credentials Committee, and it fell to my lot to work out something to get the General Assembly out of a 3-week paralysis that had befallen the General Assembly. Later again, when I was Under Secretary General working on the issue of children and armed conflict, previous to my pioneering work, the Security Council preoccupation was essentially about the security of states. Nothing wrong with that. That's what the Charter had provided. It fell to my lot to forge a consensus, to build a common position within the Security Council to incorporate the most vulnerable segment of our population, children, in situations of conflict, and women and other innocent civilians. That machinery is now being expanded to incorporate very important provision for protection, for enforcement, and I'm very happy about that. So really, I bring that experience. And now just you may have heard, when I began receiving calls and messages from around the globe suggesting that I should consider entering this race, I was not in New York. I was not in London or Paris. I was not even in Kampala. I was deep in the womb of the countryside in Northern Uganda. Why? Because as you may remember, very few places suffered as Northern Uganda as a result of 20 years of war and encampment. This is the place that you remember the Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs once called the worst forgotten crisis in the world. So for the last 5 years or so, I've been working together with others, with the community, building a non-partisan, across-the-board movement to restore, to rebuild, to resuscitate this once progressive, dynamic society, which is now a shadow of its former self. So I would hope that these body of experience, which is probably unusual in their breadth and depth, might be useful for the UN and international community at this particular moment. Let me say also, when I say to the members, the UN can no longer bear the full burden of what has been placed on it. The UN should look to share, to partner with others, especially regional groups. When I was at the UN and when I was at the International Peace Academy, part of what I did with various regional groups was building that partnership. So I would hope that when we are looking for a Secretary General who is active, who is engaged, who knows the permanent members, knows the membership, has actually had a track record of building consensus and proposing innovative solutions in difficult situations, I would hope that members might have a favorable look at my own background. So that is the answer to the questions you asked.